Hey kids, so for this idea list, we are going to be looking at page 46 right now, and we are going to be creating an idea list that I call that one part, which really doesn't mean anything fancier other than the fact that sometimes when we watch something or we read something or we play some kind of game, there are things that we really, really love about it or that stand out to us, or we're kind of just like, haha, that's funny, or ooh, that's disgusting, or that was kind of creepy. So what we're going to do is create an idea list that kind of starts to organize some of these things so that we have some topics that we can come back to. So what you're going to do is, like I said, on page 46, you have a blank page. And you are going to think, how do I want to organize this? You may choose to write that one part here and then do a bulleted list with all of your ideas. You might try to put a circle in the middle and then write things on the outside of that. You might want to, I can't even think of something else right now. That would go with one of those two ways because that's all my brain can do. If you have a different way, totally fine. You can do that too. I am going to pull my idea list of this out from a previous year instead of putting it into this journal and recopying it, so I can kind of give you several examples as we go. Mine is organized so that in the center, it says that one part, like this. And then you'll notice here in just a minute that I kind of just write all around that some of the different ideas I have. And again, I store them all in one location so that I don't rewrite them and try to remember different things. Now that one part can come from shows, movies, books, video games, graphic novels, picture books, anything that has been previously published that has that one part. So for example, let's take the movie Finding Nemo. And if you think of Finding Nemo, the character that stands out to me the most in that movie is Dory. Maybe for you it's the sharks being nice. So you want to think of this idea of nice sharks. So maybe there's nice lions or there's nice some other predator that I can't think about right now. Maybe you're going to write about mosquitoes and how really they're just hungry. So Finding Nemo, I think the character of Dory is really interesting. So I have written a piece where I took Dory and I translated that into a student of some kind. I think it was a middle school student. And they kind of had those Dory-isms to my character where they kind of forgot things and they weren't really sure what was going on all the time. But I took the character of Dory from Finding Nemo and translated that into another piece. There's a book called The Raft. And this book right here is about a girl who the plane crashes in the middle of the ocean, and basically she's floating around on a raft trying not to die. There's a passed out co-pilot and a backpack that essentially has a flare or two flares and a bag of Skittles, and that's it. And so I take this idea from the raft of being stranded. And so I've written a couple of different pieces where I try to create a character who gets stranded somewhere. So on your list, you're starting to write how you want yours to look. So if you like how I have the name of it and underneath it, if you have the bulleted list, or you could probably do a table where you name the name of the piece here and then the part that sticks out to you over here and kind of just keep it a little bit different. I just when my notebook looks kind of messy like this, it makes me feel like I did a lot of thinking, and that makes me really happy. One for the Murphys, the daughter, the girl in that book is put into foster care. So I've written several stories where someone is put into foster care. Maybe, let's see. From Maze Runner, I actually have a couple from Maze Runner. At the very beginning of Maze Runner, the main character, I can't remember his name right now, is in a cage thing, and he's coming up from under the ground, and he doesn't know what's going on. He's very disoriented. He doesn't remember who he is. He doesn't know where he's going. He's just in darkness in a cage that's moving up, and he's trying to figure out what's going on. So creating a piece where you have a character who's in a situation that they don't know who they are or where they're going. There's also the scene in Maze Runner where they're climbing the wall trying to escape the creature, whatever that thing is called, because it's coming to get them. And so you could do something with climbing walls or climbing to get away from something or running to get away from something. If just something is chasing you and you're going to try to get away from it. Maybe like this dystopian books are books that like, so a utopic society is when everything's perfect and wonderful. A dystopic society is where things are really kind of messed up, like Hunger Games. It's usually the government and something's going on with whomever's in control, and that's trickling out to the people, and it's often in kind of a messed up way. So this would be books like Hunger Games, Divergent. My favorite is the Testing series. So you could do something like this. I had a student one year write a piece about twins, and at a certain age there could only be one twin left, and so they had to like have a fight to the death in the circle in order to survive. I've seen some written like Renegades, where they're kind of this secret group, and maybe I'm going to put that on here actually. Renegades has a part where it's just the idea of this group of humans who kind of live underground, and people aren't sure how to get to them. They kind of live more in like the sewers. I say underground, but they just kind of don't want to be found out by society because they need to stay in whatever. There's this right here, the alien goo. If you've seen the movie Men in Black, I watched that with my kids, and there's this scene where the aliens like spew goo all over everybody. There's a book called Dormia, and most of mine are books, by the way, because I read a lot. If you watch a lot of TV, yours will probably be more TV shows or movies. If you play video games, yours might be more video game related. I just read books, and you'll see some movies in here because that's what I do. But anyway, Dormia, there's a scene in the book where you can only go into the woods, and once you've started, you have to go all the way through the woods, and you can't turn around, because if you turn around, whatever's behind you will kill you. So like if you are going into the woods and they would feel something like brush their hair, and they just have to keep going straight, because if they turn around, they know that they're going to die. So I have written that one a couple of different ways too, considering what would drive a character to go into a situation knowing that if they turn around, they die. So I've written it where they're going to get medicine for, which is also from a movie, but they're going to get medicine for a sick sibling whom they love. I've done it where there's someone missing, like a human whom they care a lot about, went into the woods and never came back, so they're trying to figure out who, they're just trying to figure out where they went, and they're going after them, kind of like a quest. I've done it where that's what they want to do. I've done it where they don't want to do that. I've done it where they've done it in secret. Let's see. This Double Identity is a book. At the very beginning, the main character is dropped off at this house, and the mom's sobbing hysterically, and the dad's totally stoic and facing forward. And basically they say, "We love you, but you're going to live here now." And they don't tell her anything. She doesn't know this human whose house she is at right now. And so she just gets dropped at this house. Let's see. Restart, if you've read that book by Gordon Corman. Just the idea of amnesia and living and trying to exist in a life that you don't remember anything about. There's a book called The Mighty Heart of Sunny St. James, and this girl, her mom kind of left, I think, when she was like 3, and she's now 12-ish and just had heart surgery, and her mom wants to come back into the picture and like talk to her, and the woman she's living with is kind of giving her that choice, and the girl in the story isn't really quite sure. So having someone who hasn't been in your life all of a sudden decide to come back. Let's see. I won't do too many more here. Long Way Down, which was on the Truman List last year, great book. There's a list of rules my brother gave me, and so I would think, like, what's a list of rules my character might get from someone, or a list of rules I've gotten from my mom? If I were going to make my mom's top 5 rules of life, what would they be? That would count as writing as well. Let's see if I can do like 2 more here. Creepy doll. Toy Story 4 has the creepy doll in there, and Forky. So this idea of taking a random object like a pen and creating Pen Man. If you have Disney Plus, watching those Forky Asks a Questions, they're really clever, and they're really short. Or the Goldbergs, the TV show The Goldbergs, how there's the Smother, the mom who's like all up in all of their business all the time. Dog's Purpose, like any part of that makes you sob hysterically. There's a part where the dog's laying on the thing being ready to be put down and waiting for the boy, and the dog's doing everything that it can to stay awake. So what I want for you to do on here is get at least 5 different examples of that one part from a book or a movie or a TV show or a video game. And you will be taking a picture of that and showing me what you came up with. So I'm excited to see what you have. Good work. You've got this.